All right. Okay, Mumu. So we are live, and I'm going to give us a second in order to get all of our live together. Um, so you can actually let me just tag Miss Morgan J in here, and share with you wonderfulness. So I just tagged you and to share it with you. This is what happens, y'all, when Black women just got lives and a whole lot of stuff they juggling in to do, and they forget to hit everybody up that they're doing a thing. Morgan, did you get it? Did you see it? Did you see it?
I logged in. I am trying to pull it. I guess I didn't get it yet.
All right. Let me see. Yeah, just shared it with you, but I'm going to send it to you in Messenger because I'm a nice person like that. There you go. All right. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Okay, there it is.
I see. I see, said the blind man.
Available. This attachment maybe. This person got it. I got it.
You said what?
I got it.
Wonderfulness. Okay, so we are going to have a very, very quick anti-black conversation because
Your hair looks wonderful.
thank you.
You're welcome.
That's because she don't want to touch it up. Just in case y'all was wondering what's happening, she
Good. It's doing
she
what
does
it's supposed to do.
she does my hair. She is my stylist and does my hair, and I don't think she's wanting to touch my hair up. And so, I've been going through some of those issues with her on that, but that's okay. We gonna work through this stuff too. So tonight, Moo, and forgive me, like I said, for just my unpreparedness, rushing, all of that different stuff. But tonight we are going to have a conversation, and it is a live anti-black conversation. Morgan gets to be my special guest tonight, and this dialogue that she and I are having is centered around um, when a black woman speaks, and we are talking around the theme of how you keep moving forward. Before I go into all of the dialogue, my name is Tony McNeil. I am the host and the founder of Anti Black Conversations. And it is just a place or a platform that was created for us to have real conscious, transformative conversations around anti Blackness and how it shows up in the lives of individuals who happen to be Black. Um, this series of conversations is focusing on the voice of a black woman, lifting up the voice of a black woman. So the theme of it, like I said, when a black woman speaks. And my special guest this evening happens to be one of my children, Miss Morgan Johnson.
What's up?
Hey. So Morgan, introduce yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? What do you do?
I am just a small town girl
Lord have mercy.
living in it. No, I'm joking. I am Morgan J. I'm from Stockton, California. What do I do? I am an advocate for millennials. Okay, I am an advocate for artsy people, but more importantly, I am Morgan J Production. Um, I like artist development. Music in the Park is one of my babies that we have with concrete development, and then there's my own everyday money maker, which is my hair. Still a passion and something I love to do. It's an art for me. And what else do I do is I work for CDI. Um, and we do like soft handoffs to people, making sure we advocate for the community, hearing out what's going on, the needs of the people, and things like that, and try to do what we can to get it directly, you know, to where it needs to be. And so that's pretty much that's it.
So that's what you do.
That's what
That
I
is who you are. So you named all of your hats. And so what I hear you saying mostly is that you are um, an entrepreneur.
Yeah, busy.
Okay, so you do a lot of work. Have you always been an entrepreneur, Miss Morgan?
Um, no, no, I guess not. Not the
What
whole
is?
time. Not legitly, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to. When I was young, I always said I wanted multiple streams of income. I always wanted to have just money coming in. You know, we always say these things, and we don't know what we actually start to speak and what actually starts to manifest over time. I wrote things in my journal about having kids early and stuff. Like I just wanted to get out the way, and here I am, had kids early. But um, but no, I wasn't always. And thank God for the pandemic. You know,
Mm,
it gave a lot of us who were kind of pushed up against the wall when it came to we have to work. You know, we have to work
mm-hmm.
every day. We didn't have to break. So when you want to start a business, it's easier said than done. You have to have the money to start the business, and you got to continue having that money because the business isn't really going to start functioning on its own until like 12 months out, really. So you need 12 months worth of income as well as hustle.
Right.
You know, so you still got to work 8 hours, and then you got to still put the same amount of time into your craft. You know, so what happened with the pandemic, you know, was I ended up, you know, hopefully, I guess I can confess to my dad because he never knew, but I left my job. Um, and I never told him because I was like, listen, rent's gonna be paid either way. I already knew what I had to do. But as a woman and as a single mother, it was like, I don't know how I'm about to come off of this. I want to be able to pursue it. Um, my taxes, because I have 3 kids, is always, you know, like it's me, you know, so it's always a good amount. I had about
Mm-hmm.
$10,000 that I sat on, and then
Mm-hmm.
the pandemic ended up giving us money, you know, because we had kids, which was technically paying my rent, and so
Right,
that,
right.
that allowed me the time and the same energy that I would put into my job, my daily job, working 40, 50 hours a week is like, I'm used to that. So at that point, I'm taking that and I'm building businesses. I started off making beads, you know,
Oh, really?
no, yeah, I remember I started doing waist beads and
Yeah, but I
jewelry.
didn't know. I don't know. I guess what I don't have is like the timeline on it, right? So I didn't know that you started off making the beats. But okay, go ahead.
Started off making beats, hustling. I was like, oh, I could do this. This is cool. And then I was like, I don't like it too much. All the while, I'm still doing hair a little bit here and there. You got to build up clientele, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to be consistent. And most of the time, you're going to have to start off charging nothing. You're going to have to be like, hey, let me try this on your head. Something that I charged for $500, I did for somebody's head that took me 32 hours. I charged them like $100. $100, something that I would easily say, give me 800 now, and they would pay me now. You know, so you have
Wow.
to take that leap of faith. It was not easy, but what helped was the cushion that I had of being able to have about a year's worth of my rent put up, and being able to after that just I never had to go back. But the thing was I need multiple streams. Hair wasn't just going to do it. I needed to be able to I started doing fitness and doing one-on-ones, and so that to me that was exhausting. So at some point I was trying to figure out how much time am I going to give out and how much money do I get back and how do I maximize my time, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, things that helped me get a little bit wittier and smarter. But COVID allowed me to like sit down for a second while they were paying me to sit down and do what I had to do. So,
Okay. So I mean, you started, and a lot of people started their own businesses during the pandemic.
mhm.
Um.
I didn't
So
get the PPP loan though. So, disclaimer,
you didn't get the what?
that PPP loan thing that people was doing, I don't do that. I don't do that.
So now I'm
I don't do
having.
that.
Oh, there you go. Okay. This
I
is
don't do that.
really being weird. So now I'm trying to figure out why is it saying that the live ended, but when I click it, it doesn't. And so there you go. Okay. It's kind of weird. Oh well. Okay. Facebook and its specialness. Well, so all right, Morgan. The way that we've been doing these conversations is we're kind of going through a trajectory. So tell us about Morgan, the little girl. And now, mind you, y'all, I'm the mama, so just know that um, I am making space, to say, okay, so I am her mother. However, I can't speak to her childhood and her path to where she is at. I can't speak to it from her shoes and her lens.
As a
So,
like, what part of what do you mean my
yes,
childhood?
the little girl. So, what was your childhood like?
We was poor. Shit. We was sorry, we were poor. I tell people, sorry, I'm always eating. I tell people that I grew up really poor. And I mean like like tangibly poor, Not
Poor.
mentally poor, but tangibly poor. What?
Go ahead, go ahead. I love this. I want to hear it from where you at.
As a child, I feel like we were tangibly poor, and we we grew up in I it's like I feel like you're not a product of your environment. Okay, so I never felt like we were like everybody else. Although I was in townhomes and we were poor, we had Section 8, food stamps, every public service there was, we had it. Okay. When they took the kids and said, we're gonna pick a family out of the poor people hat. We're gonna pick a family to be able to go take them shopping. Who got picked? We did. Why? Because we was poor. We were the poor kids. Okay, they got us, and they clothed us with uniform. And the thing is, I'm saying it like this because I want you to think of like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, like how they were happy. Like they were happy, okay? They were happy in that one bed, in that one space. It was frustrating. We was hungry. You feel me? We wanted to eat something different, but hamburger helper had to do, or certain things where we had to really stretch. But there was so much written. I took it as there was a lot of richness at home. We had so much culture at home. We were so woke and black and extra. Like you see my mom's house and then you see mine, like organize a church. Like we're just a black family, like cocoa butter incense and all types of
Woo!
stuff. And weeping willow trees go get a switch, So I feel like I grew up really, really poor, but really rich in culture, rich in spirit, and very liberal. I always explain to people that my parents are liberals. So they're like, you do all this stuff. I'm like, they're liberal shit. They was like, express yourself however you want to express yourself. And, as long as you're not doing yourself any bodily harm. My mom was like, write your heart out and I will never read your journal. Just write, write, write. I just want you to write. I was cussing my mom out in my journal. Like,
Morgan, shut up.
I knew she wasn't going to read it, but it just gave me this freedom in such a restricted, you know what I mean? Like we could be in a small space, but there was so much freedom up here in books and movies and in different things that we could escape. And so that's really how I feel like I grew up. And it shapes the way that I am today a lot. Like didn't even know that my sisters were not my full blood sisters. We grew up so close that you couldn't tell me no different. Like I don't care, we ain't got the same dad, but then my dad would come over, cut my brother's hair, watch movies with us and chill, Champagne's dad, Anthony is the homie, and even Johnny, like, so it wasn't this, like, we were definitely this weird mesh of like gumbo of a family. Like,
Eclectic.
very and eccentric. It was just odd and weird to people. Like, okay, everybody still thinks that my sister is my dad's kid. Like, oh, your daughters are beautiful. And he's like, yes, they are. Like, okay. That's how I grew up. It helped me a lot, though.
I never thought that well, I've heard you say it, but Did your sisters know that we were this poor? Like, did y'all all know that we was like poor, like that poor?
Mom, we talk about you. Like she was, mm-mm. You wonder why we work so hard. We like, listen, we don't want to be like that again. But then sometimes it's like, I don't know, it's like I don't know, keep your kids humble because what helps me is knowing that like I go into a whole different gear. I don't crumble. When stuff get tight, I'm like, oh, come on now, like this is cake. This is cake. $20 a couple days, this is nothing. Like, paying all of my bills and then having only $50. Oh, I'm winning. I'm a winning. Food is taken care of. I'm chilling. Gas, every bill, because we didn't have that. And so it's just nice to know that, we have the tenacity in order to make it in certain times, even with our children and in times where my back is just completely up against the wall. Oh, but we slept in a homeless shelter together. So me being in a hotel room is a little bit step higher than me in the shelter with all of my siblings and my mom in one bed. And honestly, that felt like home to me. Shoot, I was okay with it. But I was young. My mom was stressed, but as a child, because my mom was home, we could have been in the van. I had all my peace from her. So, it's nice to stay humble. And I love where I came from. I'm not saying I want my kids to go through the same things, and they have in their own ways. They have definitely, especially with me, home has had to be me.
How, Morgan, how old were you when you were in the shelter, and what was that experience like for you, being in the shelter?
I don't know how old I was. I don't remember. I know that I was old enough to like walk around and play. I remember me fighting a boy and knocking his tooth out because he kissed my sister. Or she could have kissed him. At this point, I don't know. But still, just I remember it I don't remember I don't remember any of the stressors at all. I just know that I was with my family. Like that was it, and that was all. I don't remember anything else.
So yes, and look, Toya said you working on something else at the same time. Yes. So for those of you that are wondering why I'm looking down at the same time that I'm working on this, something's going on with Facebook to where the live stream link is not necessarily moving at the same speed of pace. I'm not sure. So what I'm doing is making sure that I'm dropping the YouTube link for those of you that tapped into the conversation but were kicked right out. So for those of you that are able to connect, just make sure that you share when you share the YouTube link for right now until we figure out what's going on, and then I'll reshare it for those of you that in case you missed it. So Morgan, you don't remember how old you were in the shelter? Do you remember what grade you were in? You just remember you was bad and knocking people's teeth out.
That's the story I was told, but yeah. So I remember.
Okay, so was your shelter experience, because we were in two shelters. So one was a safe house. You remember that? Do you remember the Haven of Peace where we were all sleeping in? That's the one you remember, the Haven of Peace, where we were all in the one bed in this corridor with all the other women in there and stuff.
Langston was on your chest. You were holding him, right? Yeah. That's
Y'all would. They gave us two beds. They gave us a bed and a cot. I couldn't get y'all out my bed. And it was just a little twin bed. But you guys would like get in the bed with me. And so I kept Langston on my chest because he was still a little baby.
I was like 3 or 4.
And you were 3. You weren't even 4 years old yet because he turned 1 and started walking in the shelter. He learned how to walk in the shelter. And so you were 3, and you were sleeping on the side, and then or I don't know, but I had one on my side, one on my chest, one in between my legs, and the other one on the other side of my legs. And I would sleep like this while y'all was all, and y'all slept good. Toya says she was 8. There's the other sibling. So
Eight,
the other,
6. No, she was 8. Champagne had to be 6. I was 4 then. So
okay, so then Langston had just turned 1 and was walking.
yeah.
So, yes, you guys, some of your developmental stages were in the shelter. And just catching Toya up, Morgan said that we were very poor. She remembers that we were just poor, like pick a hat out of the thing and select the poor people, and this is the poor family poor.
Yep. Caught the little school bus to school because that's what came to the shelter to get us.
Oh,
I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I was younger though. I didn't. What are you doing? Get off the camera, being weird.
leave my baby alone.
She is pulling her up.
Just chill somewhere, Granny baby. Hi, Buddha. Okay, so Toya said we were beyond poor. All right, so then let's get you a little bit older. What else do you remember about just your childhood, other than being poor?
Like
Okay, in the
teenager.
shelter.
Wow. She said she went to school at the Stockton Homeless Shelter.
She did. She did.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you did too. I was thinking if we were in the shelter, you were all going to that one school that they had. Because Toya missed her whole phonics year while we were there.
Mm.
So okay, so you get a little bit older. When we
Get
got out
out of the shelter, we end up go in the other room and play. No, thank you. Get a little bit older. Things start getting a little bit better. We move. I remember townhomes. Townhome was cool. It was just like we weren't. Again, that was like we're just not a product of our environment. I never felt like I was in the ends, like on the ends with people. I didn't like how people go to other people's houses and all that stuff. We didn't do any of that. So I always felt a little bit different than everybody else. Like my mom is protective, or some kids I didn't think that they had parents at all because of the way that they acted. Like they can't have a mom or dad, because I just didn't think that. I don't know. I just thought we were hecka different. I always felt super set apart, hecka poor, but better than in a way. For some reason, I don't know why. Okay. And then I remember us moving and stuff. And since they're just being candid, we would rent places from different people that we knew. And boy, like my mom wouldn't tell us too much of anything, but like knowing now, like we would be getting like, I can't use curse words. We're just
working. I would prefer you try to use other vocabulary language.
Right. We were being anally raped. That's how I felt. The thing is that because we came from the bottom, it was just like, it was whatever. We moved like 17 times.
Yep. We
17
did.
times.
17 times.
I have never been to the same high school. Every year, I move schools. Okay, every year. So it definitely made me extra close to my family because we wasn't finna have friends for that long. I still got people to this day. Like we went to Pulliam together. Like that was a blimp of my life. I have no idea who you are.
Oh, God, this is really this is hard.
And so and the thing was church happened to be the place that we
were at the longest.
We were at church the longest until different dynamics happened at church. I was a kid, so some stuff I didn't know, some stuff I did. Gossip here, gossip there. I'm a child. I have no idea. I'm just going wherever heck my mom says we're going. But I do remember there's 3 churches that are milestones, which is one is Greater Faith. Mm-hmm. Other one is Resurrection Power Evangelistic Center, RPEC. And then we have Victory and Praise.
Those are the only 3 that we ever went to.
Those are the 3 churches that I can remember ever just being at, you know? Um, and so a lot of stuff has transpired with church. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. It was not on the outside. It was always in
Mm-hmm.
church. Our lives were at church. We slept, had shut-ins at church. We woke up at church. We had 4-hour meetings at church. We had we we we've been at listen, we call ourselves a Wilderness. We have been listen, we have been at every meeting that 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 all three of them churches have had. To be honest with you, I'm not going to say just one church. Even RPC, we lived there. When they moved their church, we was there too. You know, when they dropped the album rehearsals, all that stuff. Oh my gosh, we were there, sleeping on the chairs, knowing every song, know all the harmonies, all of it. Once the AV department, Toy started running the AV department, we back there doing AV. You know, and so it was it. But here's the thing: if I didn't have the discipline of church, I would not be the businesswoman I am today. I can
Okay.
definitely say that. I can, and church people will give you the tenacity in this, like out of this world. You learn how to bite down, you learn how to deal, and you learn how to, different dynamics of people. I mean, you could take it as a frustration, but at the same time, I've really got to give it to all the church people who have literally taught me how to bite down, how to deal with, how to be upfront. I'm not gonna play these games or even business, even handling church and the business aspect of church and meeting these people. We want to be able to get this and get it's all business. I feel like it's all business. And I mean it could be the wrong way to think about it, but to me, all churches, especially going to somewhere like VIP, where I call them like that's a corporate church. We got a bishop and a Lady Trina who, Lady Trina, they were in the corporate world, which means that the church operates corporately. So business wise, it has taught me how to work and how to function and what the
Mm-hmm.
meaning of integrity is and all of that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But church was everything. A lot of milestones from church.
Okay. So good, bad, indifferent, all of that different stuff. Church was the consistent thing for you guys, and y'all learned a lot of your fundamental and foundational things from the church.
Yep. My network, I wouldn't be able to have the businesses I have. Nothing. Nothing. And the church has even fallen out or whatever. Who cares? It does not matter. One thing I have learned from all of them
Yes,
is
they had.
what's up, Bri? Is holding on to the vision. You hold on to the vision no matter what. No, seriously. Um,
Okay.
and so sometimes it's like, well, there's been a lot of church hurts and all this other, blah, blah, blah stuff. It's going to happen regardless. You can't protect anybody so much to where nothing is going to happen to them, And if we're asking for people to grow, then something's got to happen to them in order for them to grow. So I do thank God for a lot of the stuff that I've gone through at an early age. I would hate for my kids to have to go through it, but
it's 7 o'clock.
Excuse Alfred. But it
I was like, what's happening? Oh, that scared me. Okay, go ahead.
But it's definitely taught me a lot, and I wouldn't be the woman that I am today without some of the gut wrenching, wailing hurt that I felt from these people, and the way that I'm able to hold my head up today because it was forced, in a way. But it's taught me to not falsely do it, but to actually, there were times, you get sat down at church. I got sat down a couple of times, rightfully or not rightfully so. A lot of times I can debate that. But what I did was I always took it as, this is what I have to do at the moment. This is I'm going to sit down. I remember I got sat down and they tell you what you're supposed to do when you get sat down, okay? And if nobody actually knows, when you get sat down, okay? Because there's a lesson in it. There's a lesson in it. And once you get past your pride and everything, the reason why you got down is because you need to go back. You need to go back and read your word. You need to go back to the place of worship. You need to go back to that place because something about you, leader, got out of place, and you need to put that back because you have the tools to do so. So when I say I got the Holy Spirit at home because I was being sat down, I read my word. I went through all three different versions, and I had the dictionary with me. I was writing. My mom taught us the concordance. Where I'm literally studying the way that I'm, that even if they're telling you like wrongly that this is your punishment, go do it. It's like I went and did it, and it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot, and it gave me what I needed. Because even me and my ex-husband not being together and stuff like that, you don't think that I prayed about that stuff before it happened? You don't think that I was so much into my word that that I had prayed so hard? Like there's something that I really want so bad, and it's not this. I don't know what this is, and I need you to give me a sign. And I promise you, in about 2 days, we had a conversation, and it was just like, this is it. This is gonna have to be it, because this is not the route that I want to go in, and I don't know what route I want to go on, but it was just too thick and too cloudy and too much. I don't even know who I am. I don't know what's going on with me. I have no idea, but it's too much. So the multiple times that I've gotten sat down, and the multiple lessons that I've been taught at church, and the way that those people have, they break you down. They do break you down. But when I say, if you are able to take it, it will literally rise something up in you where it doesn't matter if they try to break you down anymore. You have shown me that I am not easily broken, that I am,
Do you think it was the intention of leadership to? So, first of all, I was in leadership in the church. So let's make sure that we and look, and no, if y'all don't know, no, my children will throw me under the bus and run me over as long as they have the resuscitation kit to bring me back to life. They won't kill me. They'll work on CPR, all of that stuff. But I want to first of all, I was in leadership. So were you set down by me, or were you set down?
I mean, you have pointed at me when I was singing in the choir and pointed to the chair, and I sat down. I had an attitude singing in the choir. I sat down. My spirit wasn't right, so I get it. So I did.
Oh, I promise you, I did not know that this was going to be so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm sorry. I had a flashback. And yes, there were times when I would have to. Morgan, you remember when we were having the youth talks, and all the youth was up on the stage, and I asked the question about you being angry. You was like, I'm angry all the time. I'm just mad all the time. I asked why. You was like, I don't know. I just wake
up. No, I really do be waking up hot, man. I'm not a morning person. Mom, I never have been a morning person. Let's be real.
I had to make up songs, y'all, for her. Because she would wake up pissed. And I would be like, oh my God, this isn't going to work. And so I would be like, good morning, good morning, good morning to Morgan. Good morning to you. And I'd do a dance, and she would just look at me like, if you don't go sit down somewhere.
Please, like, you're upsetting me more. See, this is, y'all be thinking I be playing. I said it all the time. You just tell me you got no, this ain't all of a sudden, honey. This is raw. This is real, organic. I've been like this for, you know who my grandma is? Lily? Listen, it's my real grandma.
So you think you saying your grandma mean, Morgan?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Can we talk about the route that's expected of you to take, but when you decide that it's not where you see yourself, how you are shunned? Who, Brian? You trying to start all kind of trouble.
Trying to start some mess. Listen, shunned, honey.
Wait. So Morgan, you slid something under the radar during this conversation when you were talking about being set down and praying and knowing the word. And to be honest, I didn't know that you were spending all that time in the word studying it.
Because it's not everybody's business. I was sat down. I was supposed to do this with me and the Lord. That was it.
Who
That's
told you that?
supposed to be.
Who told you that?
That's what Bishop said when he sat me down. Okay? Just like you literally cancel out your fast when you decide you want to open your mouth and tell everybody. Your fast ain't for everybody. Your fast is for you. That's between you and the Lord. Don't be like, oh, I can't eat. I'm fasting. No, just say, no, thank you. I'm not eating right now. You don't need to do all that. You're exposing yourself. So, no, I didn't. Some things it's like, no. I didn't think that was a time for me. But I also felt, too, like there's something wrong with me. Like there has to be something wrong with me. I keep getting sat down. I keep getting in trouble for these things. I'm having all these issues or whatever. Once I came out of my marriage, I realized you need to be out of this marriage. It was tearing you up. This is not you. But you don't know who you are yet. So we got to find out who you are and what you want and who, I can't be with somebody that he wants me to be a certain way. And I don't know who I am yet. You know?
Well, we're taking a journey. So I have 1, 2, 3 grandchildren by you.
Mm-hmm.
How old were you when you had your my first grandchild?
How old is he?
Morgan? Because I think you got pregnant on prom night, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm trying to figure out how old I was. I think I was 17. I had him at 18. I was 17.
So you were 17 years old when you got pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
I got a call from one of the youth. Mm-hmm. In the youth department was like, Mama T, I'm calling. I just want to tell you something. I'm sorry it's bad news. I really, really don't want to hurt you. But Morgan, she's pregnant and she wants to get an abortion. And she called me and she called us in order to see if we would help her. But we didn't think it was the right thing to do without you knowing it. So we called. And in my mind, I was like, oh God, not Morgan, not Morgan. Whew. I could never forget it because I was driving home and I was thinking, I wish they hadn't called me. Because Toya was pregnant at the time. And now here you go. I was laid in fetus position on the altar. Like, God, what to do? But, so, what was that experience like for you?
I found out I was pregnant. I was going to have an abortion because I didn't want to go through the works with everybody. That was the only reason why. Once you found out, I was like, cool, I'm having a baby. I don't have time for everything else. I don't feel like if you can find out, I don't care about everybody else. I do care, but I can't carry the weight of that. That's not my problem. But what was frustrating and what's always frustrating is that I think because I show like no emotion toward things, that I'm being like projected on a lot. Like you need to have some emotion. I remember you coming up to my school and me having to hold you because you was falling apart, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm about to do my damn self, and my mom is falling apart. My sister is trying to fight me in the bathroom. Like, this is all about you now. And then I'm over here standing before the church with my head high, apologizing to everybody, and then I got freaking.
Had to publicly apologize?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. On Wednesday.
Were there other youth that had to publicly apologize that got pregnant or did?
They had it out for us. They said, y'all.
You said what?
I said they had it out for us.
No, I'm being serious about that. I just am wondering during that period. I just don't remember a lot of you.
The only other person I remember having to go up before the church was Maddie. That was it. I don't remember.
Maddie was grown.
Maddie was grown and still had to do it. and it's
Okay, but
still,
you a woman. Okay.
and then yeah, it's just whatever weird thing. But I just remember, I remember internalizing a lot at that point. Like there
Mhm.
is nowhere to project, there's nowhere to go to, there's no one to really, like, for my own emotions. Like it was more like you shouldn't have did it, slap on the wrist. So embarrassed, didn't never had a baby shower. Like until Jazz. Once I can actually get over myself and say whatever.
Yeah, and
But
that was difficult because the mindset behind that, was that if we have a baby shower, then we're like glorifying or what have. There was a lot of failed opportunities. There was a lot of fails on my side. There was a lot. I failed you guys a lot when it came to just some of the church rules and the norms and the things that I subjected you guys to. Even if I didn't feel good about it, I still did it in order to make sure that I was accepted in
I
the
have
church.
that I have that issue too. Sometimes I realize, um I get it now being a parent, and it's not, like I don't know what to say to you. We all trying to figure this out. This is scrap is not easy. It's not
Right.
easy. There's judgment everywhere. It does not matter. It doesn't
Right.
matter. And so I do remember. I remember that was. I remember just being in my room a lot and like putting headphones. Like I felt like I had somebody. Like that was it. It was like I have somebody who's on my side. My baby. I get to put my headphones on my stomach, and like that was that. Um, One of my biggest supporters, of course, was Cheryl because she just wanted a grandchild. She she was excited about that. Um, but that was that wasn't for me though. Like I could feel that change as soon as my child came out. That
Right.
that love was for him. She loved me too, but it was like she loved that boy.
And I want to ask you this. I'm asking questions openly that and we are a family that goes deep, and we are a family that we talk about stuff. So what did it feel like being pregnant with Ethan at the same time that Toya was pregnant with David, and I supported Toya but didn't support you?
Mm, I was used to it. You always overcompensate for Toya. She doesn't have her dad with her, and you guys have that. And so the hard part is that I've always had to seek it elsewhere. But it's taught me to seek it elsewhere to be able to not just be stuck in I need my mom to there you will be there. Sometimes it's frustrating because it's like I didn't want to have to yell and scream for it. Like I remember when my grandpa died and you had sent somebody else over. And I was like, I don't know if it was Pastor James or D Chandler. It was one of them, but it was like, I don't want them. Like they don't know what's going on. I don't want to talk to them about nothing. Like none of that, you know. Um, but I I don't know. If you wouldn't have done it, I would not be as creative as I am. I've
Mm.
learned to write. I've learned to cope. I've learned to paint. I've learned to exercise. I've learned to do things because I can't. Shit, it's not for everybody. I can't. I have to learn to internalize it or go to my word or read or figure out some way to release it.
Hmm.
It was frustrating, but like I said, I can't. I don't know. I don't regret anything. I don't
And
regret.
so, and do you think that might, because I know that your godmother and you have a very unique relationship. Well, when you were younger, you had a unique relationship.
Yeah.
And so, do you think that she helped, fill some of that void?
No, absolutely. And that was a good person. And it's hecka funny because Kiki's a Libra too, and I'm like, man, I feel like we're so similar, which is her daughter. But man, yeah, it was my godparents. They definitely filled a void. It wasn't just them though. There was like Mother Georgia still call me today. You know,
Mm.
I could still, there's been times where I'm sitting on Lady Trina's couch or
Mm-hmm.
I had a village. Like I seriously got a village. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like Donna Glover, like she's always somebody I can, if I ever have a question, I need to ask Auntie Donna. There are people that are definitely around us.
Mm-hmm.
And I have 3 kids. So one thing I do understand at this point, because I overcompensate for Jazz. Jazz,
Mm-hmm.
why?
Right.
Because Lyra can go with her dad. They'll fly her out to Alabama.
Yeah.
Ethan is beyond, like, I don't even have to think about his needs. They're always
Right.
taken care of, you know.
Right.
But it's Jazz. I have to, like, I overcompensate for her, and I have a different relationship with her because, like, when I didn't have a place to stay and my kids could really have, go somewhere else, Jazz didn't have nowhere to go. It was her and I in a car,
Yes.
and then I had to go figure it out. It was
Mm-hmm.
always so. I definitely get that.
So
Um,
you think that kind of helped give you a little bit of perspective?
oh, absolutely. Having kids gave me a perspective on a lot, a lot.
Okay. So now fast forward, you had Ethan, then you got married. How old were you when you got married, Mo?
Hell yeah! Before I could drink. Uh,
What made you decide to get married?
oh, Quinn just sat on the side of the bed. He said, "It's time. It is time." I said, okay.
No, that's some stuff your daddy said. And if I'd have thought right. Anyway, okay, go ahead. Your dad just woke up and said it's time.
No, yeah, that's kind of what happened. That was it. It was
Ooh, if you'd have told me that, I'd have said, run, Forrest. But anyway, go ahead.
it was just I was with a God fearing man, and we were a religious man, as I should say. And I was already pregnant with Lyric,
Mhm.
and it was just pressure. It was just like I say it to this day. Me and Quinn probably would have still been together if we had a chance to get to know each other and had time and no extra stressors. It was so much extra. Ooh, church folks, y'all need to stay out of people's business. You know how many church
Ooh,
folks I had sit here and tell me, "Well, if make sure you suck his dick because somebody else will," and I'm just like,
okay.
"What? What?" Like just the stuff that was being said to me,
Oh,
or things
wow.
that are being poured into. Oh, don't break that man's back. He breaking his back trying to take. You don't know what's going on in the house. He don't know how to wash a dish or put a. Let me be the wife. Let him do what he know how to do. Let us figure out our own sexual likes and don't like. It was just crazy to me how invasive people are with their thoughts and things. And so it was pressure. It was like y'all are both leaders, you know, and I don't know what it is about them wanting to have, it makes my stomach turn. Young people just getting married. Go ahead, get married. Yes, please do it this way. And they don't even they don't even know what they're doing, and they don't even know themselves. And it was just us. It was like, you guys can't live together, and we weren't living together at the moment, but you guys can't be sleeping together and dating each other, and you guys know each other from church, and then you say that you met each other here, and so you guys are fornicating and doing all this other stuff because it looks like they're approving it. You know, he was like, it's time, okay. One thing Quinn could not take, and I definitely was his wife. That man does not like a whole bunch of pressure.
Right.
And so pressure, he will be like, forget it, like do it, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so I know I had to be real passive with him because he got that from family to church and work, everything.
Right.
Um, and so it was just like we just got married. It was whatever. And you want to know, man, I didn't pay for nothing. That's how much people were like, get married. It's so scary. That's so freaking scary. But I can't have a baby shower. Please make it make sense. But you'll pay for everything. My
Ooh, oh, and I'm laughing, I think, to keep from crying.
For
at
real.
this.
Hey, it's twisted. It's so twisted, but they were for it. They paid for us to $300 a night for us to go to not for a honeymoon, not for us to go spend time together, but to go to a church marriage retreat that we pretty much slept a lot of the time. I was back and forth on the phone with Toya because we had 2020 praise going on. I had to make sure the ushers, like, it was just like, we never got a break, and because of how much we both grew up in a church, and because of how much he wanted to, do things right. He loves playing music too. I would beg him, like, can we just take a Sunday off? Just, let's go. This is such an education. Like, let's go spend some time together or something, but because that's not, and it's so crazy because we got married, because of the church, everything was whatever the church says. So taking time off from church, that's a big slap on the wrist. I'm sorry. Do what? You get shunned. We got 3 keyboard players and he can't take a day off. Goodness. But yeah, I had Lyric, and then I ended up getting pregnant again. Definitely infidelity. There was a lot going on. And I mean, I can be real candid or I don't, I you gotta gauge me. I name drop too.
So at the end of the day, here's where we are. Because we've transitioned. How do we keep moving forward? But before we can even talk about moving forward, it's like we gotta make space for a Black woman to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying I gauge you. This is no, I didn't gauge anybody else, so I'm not going to gauge you.
Well, I definitely know he didn't want to have no more kids or anything like that. There was a lot. I've always been this like feminist inside. I need equality. I need things to work a certain way. I need us to. It just wasn't happening. It just was not happening. And so I cheated. And I say that with no regrets. I'm not going to lie to you.
You said you cheated because there was no equality.
There was no, I would, dang, I'm not trying to be that candid. I'm not trying to be that candid. Men have sexual needs, women have sexual needs.
Right.
Majority of mine were not getting met. I don't even know what Quinn's tongue feels like in my mouth. I don't know what a French kiss feels like or anything. And these are things that I was like, okay, we can learn this together. No learning it together. No, nothing, no, nothing. Okay. So that was
that he was struggling with that were hindering his ability to actually.
No, he did have things he was struggling with. But my problem is like, I can't be the only one trying to move forward or trying to change or, do you want me to wear this pleated skirt and look like a teacher? I'll look like a teacher for you. Can you learn how to eat me out? Like, can we learn these things? Like, it's marriage. And that's what I've learned, right? You can't defile the bed. Like, let's try these things. Or, I know he was frustrated about certain things about working and all of that. And I know he wanted to do his passion, but we had babies. And he didn't know what the doctor's office was, he didn't know what the kid's school was, he didn't know their schedule, he did not cook. There was a lot of things that were going on that I could not just go work right now. I can't even help you. We can't afford daycare. There's 3 of them. Like, let's be real. Mm-hmm. Well, there was 2 of them at the moment. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of different things were going on. Mm-hmm. And knowing who I am.
Morgan, the reason why I'm making space for you to be a little bit more candid is because what happens is this. Black women are notorious for catching a rap sheet of why a thing failed, why a thing happened. And when we don't speak, then other women think that, okay, what I'm going through, I'm going to either say it in a whisper or never say it at all. And so we carry the weight of that. I failed. I will never forget my mother-in-law looking at me when I looked like the elephant damn man. I looked like the elephant man. And she looked at me and asked me, Two questions. One question and then another statement. She said, "What did you do to make him so angry? Don't do that anymore." And from there made me feel like I was an unfit mother and an unfit wife, and this is why I was being beat. This is why there was infidelity. This is why all these different things, and he's taking care of these children, and these are his stepchildren, and these aren't his real children, and all of that. And I'm like, I didn't, but these were her thoughts, and this is the stuff they were projecting onto me. I held and carried that for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
They convinced me to leave you and my son with them,
Mm-hmm.
saying that I was unfit. I believed that mess. So what I'm saying is I'm just creating this space to say that at the end of the
No,
day,
man. Mom, if I didn't know your stories that you told us growing up, I don't think that I would have been able to come out of and be out of the comfort zone of right, champagne, stop my fingers, the BS. But Mom, if you didn't tell us the stories that you told us and been completely transparent with us as children, not in a very like, oh, your grandma was just, no, never that, but just like, they feel different ways about, you start to pick up on things, even if you're speaking in code, we start to pick up on, and it definitely helps me knowing. That's why I said when I did get sat down, because that was before I cheated on him multiple times. Okay. Like I even had a regular room that I would go to with somebody. Like this at some point I was checking out. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I want something different. And I'm like,
so the level of promiscuity that you were operating in, did it start before your marriage, or did it kick into high gear while you were married? Like,
mm, I guess it was. I guess it was a little bit. It was before, but it was well. No, it was before.
okay.
And then at some point I was getting older. It was like I want to work. Now the thing is, now I'm married. Like let's do everything. Like I'm trying to get on a ride at Disneyland and do some shit. Like
Right. Right. Okay.
I'm
And
ready.
so I asked that question because as people were pushing you to get married and saying we won't fund a baby shower, but we'll pay for your marriage, we'll do all of this stuff. No one was really taking into consideration that you all had some real baggage and issues that you were bringing in together. Um, and I'm saying that because I also want to lift up that the folks that I heard saying get married as a young person, I have to now say in wisdom, but your issues as a young person aren't the same issues that the young people today are experiencing.
Mhm.
So it's a whole nother level of stuff that they're experiencing and going through. So you have the third baby, and that's Jazz Buddha.
Yep, Jazz. In the pit of my stomach, I knew she wasn't his. Blah blah blah. Sat on the abortion table. I was like, I want her. I don't want to get rid of her.
Mm.
Fuck all y'all. Kiss my ass. Real shit. I'm in the church. Kick me out. It's,
Oh,
I will not make another decision like this because of you guys. I'm not getting rid of her. I'm not. I had her, kept that shit close to the chest to the neck, didn't say nothing. 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 Because I didn't care. At that point, I'm being real. Whoever the dad is, which I know who he is, but it didn't really matter. I'm gonna take care of the kids anyways. So does it even matter who she belongs to? She's my kid.
okay.
Nobody claim or whatever. Quinn was the man that he was, and he definitely signed the birth certificate, everything. We knew, okay? But at some point we weren't together anymore. I mean, she still goes over there and even hangs out and all this other stuff because it just doesn't really matter. It does matter, but it doesn't. Um,
Right, right, right.
like y'all gonna talk about me if I'm married doing this, or if I'm not married doing this, or what if I? It did not matter. So third child, um, the beginning of that year, the beginning of the next year, he and I had a conversation in like January, February. It was just like, this is not working. Like I've bet, like I'm not one to beg. I've literally sat on the ground. The reason why I am the way I am now, and I refuse to. I've literally sat on the ground in front of a man on the floor, on his knees, and cried. Can we please spend time together? I really, really, really want to make this work. I'm trying my hardest. What can I do? Just get off your phone. At least look at me and talk to me. Like I don't know what to do. No clue. Are you just disgusted by me? Are you unhappy with your life or whatever? What can I do to fix it? Like I'm in the wrong space at that point. Like once I did have that time where I had to sit down and come to Jesus moment, this is not what I want. Lord, I don't know what I got to go through, but I got to get out of here.
Okay.
You know? So we had that discussion. Months later, I ended up meeting somebody else. I checked out. I completely checked out. I'm not going to lie. And I went through a whirlwind with him. Okay. But what I did know is I do believe in the laws of things. I do believe in karma. I do believe in you reap what you sow. And I would look that man in his eye and tell him, you are definitely my karma. And you still ain't touched the precipice of some of the things that I've done to the men that I've been with. Ooh, so, you know what? I'm going to take it. And I did. I took it. And I made sure I didn't cheat on him. I didn't do wrong. I said, God, I really want to turn over a leaf. If he do me wrong, I'm not doing right by him. I'm doing right to myself. I want better later. So I know it's not coming from him. I wish it would, but I know it's not. And that, like my ex-husband broke me. But when I say Eugene fucking...
So your ex-husband broke your spirit.
Oh, That was some of the realest nonsense I've ever dealt with in my life.
Okay.
It still covered him a lot of the times too. So that was hard too, just being a woman and being
married. So Eugene broke your spirit. So Quinn broke your heart. Eugene broke your spirit.
Oh, no, I don't think Eugene broke my spirit. Eugene gave me some spirit.
Okay. So with that, what were some of the just overarching things that you were dealing with in that relationship?
Manipulation. It was a lot of manipulation, extremely toxic. The whole back and forth. Well, I'm just gonna kill myself, and then me just like, oh my God, let me hurry up and rescue you, type of nonsense. Oh, it was. Yeah, I'm trying to hear more of these unfiltered conversations. Yeah, like let them learn from you life experiences, please. Yeah. It was a lot of manipulation, a lot of jealousy. Some of the things that I operated in. Okay. I seen the reflection in some areas, that helped me because the thing is you ask to grow, but it's like, are you ready to grow? Like, because you got to really be ready for this. And the things that I've prayed for, and I did. I remember sitting in my car before me and Quinn were together anymore, all of this stuff. I sat in my car and I was like, God, I want to have a certain anointing. I want to be able to, to be able to shift the room and stuff. I was like, I want to be able to be like how my mom is. But I know I ain't gone through. And I said it. I said, God, I haven't gone through nothing that she's gone through to even deserve it. And I was like, but I do want to be able to be that independent woman, And it was like, after that, it was like, ready, set, go, like, okay. And so I knew with Eugene that I was dealing with a lot of spiritual warfare too. But if Bishop didn't sit me down and tell me I need to go learn about some stuff, I would not know how to deal with it. There have been times where I was just talking to a demon. And I was just like, oh, well, you ain't got no room here. So
wow.
You can get upset all you want to. All you want to. You can only cross this line. There were so many things going on there. Lost my place at that point. Everything kind of went.
So what was the worst? And I know what was the worst, but I'm going to ask, what was the worst? What was like the breaking point with Eugene?
When he busted my window and got so enraged, like he and I would fight. We would fight. He taught me that I know how to fight. But he got so enraged He thought one of my friends purposely set me up. We weren't talking at the moment. This is like toxic relationship 101. Break up, get back together, break up, get back together, whatever. We were broken up. There was somebody I was talking to, realized that he knew my dude at the moment who we weren't together, whatever. And then we both were like, fuck, like he's crazy. Can't talk to you anymore. Like we're putting marks on our heads, you know? And so we stopped talking, but he like was going through my stuff and seen that, and I was like, yo. So we stopped having a conversation anyways. Like I made it so like nonchalant, like, sir, we couldn't even have a full 2 days worth of talking before, you know? I don't know, built up in his head. And one of my friends who he was like, well, she knew, and it was probably when you came up to the church, you seen him. I said, I didn't see nobody. I was like, what are you talking about? Literally, I don't know what you're talking about at this moment. He's just furious, angry. What ticked him off is he came up to the door, banging on the door. I had to go to school. I was in college, banging on the door. That same girl was there. She was about to babysit the kids at my place. Banging.
Pregnant.
I was like, she was pregnant. She was pregnant. She was pregnant. And I called the police. I wasn't about to call my mom. I wasn't about to call my dad. I just need him to come and get him. I don't need him dead. Just want them to come get him. I got to go to school. You know? And so the cops, of course, they're going to take some time. Eugene ends up, Tajay's scared as hell, okay? I deal with this. She don't deal with this. You know, so she's scared. And I can feel my friend being scared. My kids are in the room too. Go somewhere. And she ends up, like, she's behind me. Eugene goes all the way around the back. I hear my whole room bust, boom, big old glass window busted open. He's in the house. He ends up coming down the hall. She has pepper spray. She ends up pepper spraying in the hallway. So we all like, you know, we're all jacked up. He's pissed. He makes his way to the living room. I tell her to go back in the room with the kids, okay? I'm trying to calm him down. This is when that Maxine Guidry, we got to be smart, okay? I already called the police, okay? They're on their way. I need to rub the beast's belly, and I need to get him to chill because he's mad at me, but he is in like rage behind her because he feel like she set us up and he knows we know each other. He mad. I need him to chill. He ends up, she's all the way back in the room with my kids. They got bunk beds, okay? That's going to mean something in a second. My kids got bunk beds. Jazz, the child that he has been fathering, he still does to this day. She's 7 now. She was up there on the top bunk, okay? She got to be 2 or 3. He ends up, they're all the way back in the room. I'm like, Eugene, I need you to calm down. No, whatever. He's mad. He's pissed, right? What does he do? He goes in the kitchen, grabs a knife. I don't know what to do. I grab him and throw him all my way back. I just throw all my way back. I grab him and just throw all my way back, right? He's got a knife in front of me. He is swinging. I'm not yelling or nothing. I just have like alligator tears. Right now, my heart is broken. You're so angry. You are so angry and enraged right now. That one flick of your wrist could literally slit my throat, cut my arm, anything. You're that pissed, okay? And I'm not blacked out. I'm not feeling no type of way. Like, if anything, in the way things work, it's like everything gets a little bit slower. Like, okay, I gotta think. You gotta think rational, you know? I throw him back. I'm holding him. The boy is strong. He's extremely strong. He gets away from me. Heads down the hall. Shoots down the hall talking hella shit. Pissed. Blah, blah, blah. Tajay. Like, hurts my heart. My friend is sitting in the corner. She's pregnant. She's in the corner. Down there in this like fetus position on the freaking floor in between the dresser and the kid's bunk bed. Eugene is in here swinging a knife with the baby girl that you fathered this whole time. And she's on the top bunk. You're swinging the fucking knife. Eugene, your baby's up there. So he's like, everything in him just drops. He drops the knife. He walks out. The police bust in the house. They end up getting him, grab him, put him at gunpoint on the floor. At that point, I'm numb. I don't even know why. I don't even know what to do, think, whatever. At that point, he's gone. Like he's going to jail, and that makes me teary eyed because that was hard. That was really, really hard dealing with even getting to the place like I'm super pro extra black. I hated having to call the police to come into my home. You know, my kids are there. Like it was crazy, crazy. And it was even funnier because it was like, man, I get so numb. I get so because it'd be like shit happens every day, you know? It's like whatever. So my mom comes, we sit in the car. She's like, you know, how are you feeling? I was like, it's like I'm mad. I missed my first day of school. Like shit. You know, I was love school, you know. So I missed out and I lost jobs, multiple opportunities, staying in a situation like that. And us females who are writers, one thing I've learned, I'll never ride for a nigga who don't ride for me. I promise to God. If you cannot build me up, you're not worth ride or die. No, absolutely not. My life is way too important. That has definitely taught me to never be that solid to where a man is like, you're going to give me my first, you're going to be that one, you're going to give me my first record and blah, 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 just testing me. But you've never seen that you were wrong. God had to literally take him away from me. Like, don't kill him, but took him away from me. And after that, like I had like lost my place, and like shortly after, different things were going on. And then me and the kids were homeless. I had to be at somebody and there's so many parts of that part of my life that are, I don't know. I can't find them in my brain. They're gone. Just to make it with all three of my kids, and no help, like, and not in a like no help, like everybody's struggling, no one can help. Like I can't go run to my mom's house. My mom was renting a room out of somebody's condo. My dad is sharing an apartment. My sister is living, you know, like everything. Like nobody can help you right now, Morgan. You have got to bite down. So what I do, I call for broke. Listen, I'm homeless. I'm working 2 jobs. My kids are in an unfamiliar man's house. He's not helping. Their dads aren't really helping, and I can't take my phone into work. And so my kids, 2 years old, Lyric was 5, changing her sister in the morning, her brother peeing on himself, getting himself in the shower, changing clothes, getting their, food out of the refrigerator on the shelf, and going to daycare and school like nothing was happening. And then I'm getting off of work trying to hurry up and call, like, hey, did you get the kids? Or, did you get them to school? One of the dads would get them from school, and then I would, it was just so much. Like there's too many times where I've had to just adjust. That it becomes a blur. Like it's just like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't even know. Our whole car fits in a Volkswagen Cabrio, which is a drop top 2-door, and all 3 of my kids. My birthday, I spent it. And I'm telling you, didn't skip a beat. Still made it to my shows. Still made it to work. The kids made it to school. Everything. Like, did not take a break. And then I had a time where I fell into it. But then men preying on me. But then as a woman, though, especially when you need help, keep in the forefront of your mind, I have definitely used a couple of men. Listen, okay, that's what you want to do? Cool. Put the car in my name. This is my car now. Okay, well, I need this too. I need that. If that's what you're going to be doing, and it takes away from you. And don't think that it doesn't take away from you. But in order for my kids to have some type of normality or for them to be able to eat, and it's been done. And it is what it is. And I tell people that I have no pride when it comes to my children. There's no pride. I'm sorry. I ain't got it. When I got it, I got it. I don't ask nobody for nothing. I'm cool. I'll figure it out.
Morgan, what was your turning point? What was your, I mean, this, because this is like one, let me one stop. I know the champagne had put something, and I'm gonna put this here. Um, she said this is heavy, and yeah, there should be a disclaimer for this. Not a disclaimer, don't look at it. It is a disclaimer because it is. This is like, but
Mhm.
all of the conversations have been heavy. All of them have been, because all of these extraordinary women that I have brought onto this platform have experienced extraordinary circumstances. All of them. Um, and when I invited you into this space, I wanted to make room for you because I want you to know that I see you as an extraordinary woman that has experienced some extraordinary circumstances. You are that in my eyes. You are that and some. And so what do you think have been the things that have kept you moving forward?
My kids are incentive, definitely incentive. Um, my passions, actually having things that I love, they definitely help me move forward and give me a sense of a reason to wake up. Like I know people talk about like because there was a time where it was like my ex, the one that that's why it was hard to not to come out of that situation because when I was really low and really breaking after my marriage, he held me up. Opposed to everybody like, well, you deserve it, and this is what happens. Get over it. No, he sent me on the floor, got me up after I took a shitload of pills, and what? Everybody else can take care of my kids better than I can. This is not a good situation. Like, fuck it then. Like, I forget it. Forget it. I don't care. And that's when I left my job for some time. I took a leave of absence. I had told somebody at my job, I said, I'm having a hard time. I need to take some time. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. And me waking up, falling asleep and stuff like that after I had took the pills and him making sure I was taken care of and making sure the kids were not feeling me at the moment. You still just make their lives a little bit normal.
So you took the pills to end your life?
Hmm?
You took the pills to
Yeah,
end your life? You tried to commit suicide?
yeah, for sure. It's not something that needs to be spoken of again. If you're gonna do it. But I'm serious. That's just how I think. That to me, I'm not crying out for attention. It's like, okay, well, I thought about this. Like, my kids got letters. Y'all got my final thoughts. Cool. Everybody else really at that point, I'm convinced you guys can do this better. I'm not made for this, or I can't do it. Nothing that I'm doing is right. Nothing. And that's just the surrounding that I've always been in. And because I'm always so strong and because I'm always so good and you got it. Or I literally pick up so quickly that nobody can tell. Oh no. There's been so many times where it's like but because that was like the lowest point, that was the lowest I've ever felt. Um, Now when I get stressed, it's like, you know what? You know how to cope. Go for a walk, run, go do something. And literally, like even just now, like taking my kids out of school a little bit earlier, I'm stressed just getting them there. Like, you know what I've learned in the past, take something off of your plate. I can't deal right now. They got 9 days left. Oh well, call me truancy. I don't care. My mental health at this point is way too important. My kids' mental health is too important. So I've learned to just take that off. Like, it's only you, Morgan, and you're trying to do a whole bunch of stuff. You can't take away work. You can't take this away. But what you can do is relieve this a little bit.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's it.
Okay. So you focus on the kids. I remember us having a conversation about that once some years back, and I remember telling you that people always say this. First, I'll say this. People always say, "I can't believe Morgan and you. Morgan's your daughter, because you guys just are so different." Um, we're not. I always, and so I tell them Morgan is the fruit that went thud. But I remember telling you that Morgan, until your children become the reason, and when they do, that's everything. Because when you guys became the reason, I could be homeless, sleeping on a cot. I can endure whatever it is that I gotta endure. I'll do it. I'll do it because man, these four jewels, these four treasures, these four, they're the reason.
But if you realize from the beginning, they've always been the reason.
Yeah.
Always. Even when it was just me and Ethan who wasn't here yet in my belly. Or I could feel the judgment and the stress of me being pregnant with Jazz, and I just clung on to my child. That's it.
Mm,
Wouldn't let her go in the hospital. They told me to put her down. I don't know.
mm,
So they have always been. I've always tried to figure out though, because I was always told being married, it was like, you're supposed to focus on your marriage and stuff like that. Um, so I did. I tried to juggle that in relationships and stuff like that, but I know after Eugene and dealing with that and all that foolishness and nonsense. And the thing was, I'll never knock Eugene, okay? Like, out of all of their dads, Eugene will literally be there. He had to go through what he had to go through, and so did I. We don't deal with each other like that, but we have grown past that enough to be like, okay, well, I need you. Like, the other day when I was frustrated with Jazz, I called him like, I'm gonna need your help a little more. I can't do it. Like, I'm losing it. And I appreciate the fact that he too has, learned that, his anger to walk away or certain things or all this stuff. But that I would not be who I am today if I did not go through that stuff with him. I would not have the bite down that I have today. I would not know how to maneuver with a manipulative person
mm,
the way that I can,
mhm,
or even see it from a mile away.
mm.
It sucks that I had to see it that close up or I had to get it right there, but I appreciate going through everything with everybody that I've been through. Would I go back? No. But I would not, I just wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be able to make the decisions that I can make today
If it wasn't for the journey.
if it wasn't
So,
for me.
so the question that I'll ask you as we wrap up this conversation, and before I ask the question, thank you for your transparency, your realness. Just,
Smoke a blunt.
I, I think a lot of times that people sell you short when
Yeah.
it comes to the wisdom, the insight, the experiences that you have gleaned from that have made you the remarkable and extraordinary woman that you are today, and you are. And I am, as your mother, proud of
Yeah.
you, and I am proud to be your mother.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't make no apologies for her, who she is, what she do, what she say. That's what she said.
Yeah.
That's it. So, but you guys have taught me that. You guys have grown me up.
Yeah.
Even as an adult, you have grown me up. And so I see things different. I learn from you guys. Even when every time I hear you speak, all of you, I learn so much from you all. So I'm very, very grateful to be your mother and to have you all four, the four of you, Langston, Champagne, and Latoya as my children, the Wiljamics.
Hey.
Hey. So the final question that I will ask you, Morgan, is today, what would you say to the little girl you to prepare her for the journey?
Mm. Feed your intuition. Um, trust. trust your spirituality.
Mm.
Be very selfish with your journey. Very selfish with your journey. Um, and try to be empathetic. A little more.
Be a little bit more empathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I would have told myself anything different. When I read my journals, I was pretty much the same way. Like I really pretty much the same way.
Amen. I Shayla Latoya. So I thank you, Morgan, for tapping in this evening for this anti-Black conversation. I thank you for sharing your journey and what it took for you to become the woman that you are today. And I thank you for just being transparent on how you've kept moving forward.
Yeah.
Um, Definitely not the person that you are today. And so, real quick question. Um, you think you'll ever try again in a relationship? Will you ever love again? Yeah. You look like jazz just then.
I literally have a. I wish I could show it to you. I literally have a. I wrote this. I have so much art on my walls. I wrote this 3/30/18. It's just this drawing. It says love, and it just says, "I'll never give up on you, for you are perfect. You give me an indescribable feeling. Although we fight, I'll never give up on you." Like it's this long, written all around the word love. I'll never. I felt love. I've been in love. I felt God's love. Oh my gosh. Like no, no. I'm not what makes me so strong is that I can go back into the battle. Like that, yeah, I can go rounds. Let's go, for the right thing. I have no problem. Like definitely. And these are all things that are helping me learn and also showing my daughters that you ain't got to give up or you don't have to compromise or you don't have to just be like, I'm going to settle with this. If you don't want it. It's okay to not want it. Go get what you want and fight for what you want. But you got to give what you're asking for. Don't ask for security, but you don't have it. So my thing is if I'm asking for something, I've got to be able to do it. So I've learned to work on myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want love. I got to be able to give it. And now that I have the reflection, I'm with somebody and my sister says it, she was like, you reflect what you end up getting. And so I be taking all them little nuggets. I want to get something. And now that I have somebody who's really, and he ain't perfect. I don't know. He may mess up in the future. I've learned to never put nothing past nobody. Don't be so in love where you goofy, so you just I'm not going to give up on it. I'll be open and optimistic to it. And, but I also love so much of myself and she needs time to herself and she needs to be loved on.
Okay.
And she don't need to be loved on from everybody. I know how to love on me. Okay.
Look.
She's so stupid. Oh my gosh.
All right, y'all. Well, I am encouraged. And you know what, Morgan? I'm not going to give up on love either.
No.
So I'm not. One day, thank you, God. One day. So I'm going to keep hope alive and I'm going to fight for it. You know what? I can't. And so on that note, thank you for tapping into Anti-Black Conversations. It's been real. Peace out. See you later. Bye.
Bye.